Hey everybody, Shrike here. I'm finally ready to reveal my all-destroyer team. I'll go through each one and explain what they bring to the table and why they are vital to the team. And if you stay till the end, I'll even have a free-to-play version of this team. Okay, and to start out, we've got our dark, brooding Captain America Dantalion. He's our DPS. And everyone else on the team plays second fiddle to him. With the fact that he can deal magical damage, physical damage, and sometimes both, it makes him incredibly versatile. And AoE damage, single target damage, stripping, debuffing, he really does it all. And that's it. That's my team. All destroyers. Okay, I'll show you the rest. So what's a DPS's best friend? That's right, a buffer to make his damage even higher. Well, that's something we don't have on destroyers yet. But we do have a couple skills on our healer, Lash. A vicious damage dealer in her own right, and has promised to slay me if I turn my back for relegating her to healer. But she does have a heal, this magic defense up, and immunity to disrupt to all allies. This emergency heal here, which can be increased damage, and magical defense up for 2 turns. A little bit of a buff. And for this, she can dispel 2 buffs on the target. That's a nice little strip there for her. Next up is our tank. Good old Momo. On the surface, an infection-based magic damage dealer. But she's got that shield that comes up at the end of her turn. She can counterattack. She can really tank a hit. She's a good destroyer tank. And plus, with her repulsion application here, the push-pull ability, she can protect us more by controlling the battlefield. And you know what they say? The best defense is a good yeet and yoink. Or something like that. And our debuffer is Abyss. She's the queen of debuffing. Nobody does it better. You'll want Protection of Darkness, Erosion, Hypnosis, and Dark Ripple if it's not a boss battle. If it is a boss battle, you just swap out Hypnosis for Corruption to passively put on that debuff because the boss is immune to sleep. And if you're so inclined, toss on a disaster bottle as your trinket, but I'm using the fancy hat because thinking of her wearing it in battle makes me giggle. And I think that's it. DPS, tank, healer, kind of buffer, and debuffer. And I know what you're thinking. That's it? That's the team? Where's Guzman? Where's my main man, the Guzzler? Well, the truth is he took up way too much space on the thumbnail. Glory hog. I've actually spoken to HR about it. But the fact is also that bruisers aren't a mandatory part of the team. You need a DPS. You need a healer. You'd really like a buffer. You'd prefer to have a debuffer. Oh, and you really want a tank. But bruiser is more like if you have extra space on the team, and because I don't have a buffer as a destroyer right now, then I'm using Guzman, but he's not really a mandatory part of the team as a bruiser. He fills the role of a chonky sub DPS. Okay, so the goal of this was to decide if an entirely destroyer team was viable. If we could find every role we needed within this, well, role. So now we need to discuss the free-to-play ability of it. We've already said we don't have a buffer, so that's out. We just need a debuffer, a tank, a DPS, and a healer. We've got healer and debuffer in Lash and Abyss. Those are already free-to-play. They're golden. Can we find all of these? Well, let's start with the tank. Actually, the tank we want as a free-to-play is Dark Light Ice Priest, believe it or not. If you take the entire ice armor path, you've got an AoE defense up. You've got, if the character has no shield, you get a shield at the start of your turn. You get damage reduction. And you get another shield here. You wouldn't think of him as a tank, but for a magic user, he does a pretty dang good job in the role. So that's our free-to-play tank. I said Abyss was our debuffer, Lash is our healer, and probably resentful of it. But now comes the problem. Who can replace Dantalion? Well, the truth is, we've got a unit. He is a free-to-play unit, a melee damage dealer, and he is a destroyer. His name is Enforcer, and he's our only one. So our hands are tied. We don't have a choice. We have to go with Night Raven and just main magic damage. We don't have another choice. Okay, so I pulled Guzman and Dantalion really early. But if I were to guess and say, if I were to try and determine whether or not a full playthrough of only destroyers is viable, I would say either very difficult or not possible yet. There are pieces of this team we just don't have at the moment. But the possibility remains that we might get more units in the future. Might get some more commons and rares. I would really like that. Some destroyer units that serve a tanking purpose or a buffing purpose. Or sort of blur the line between Seeker and Destroyer. Something like that. But until then, that is my team, and that's another option for a free-to-play version of it. If you made it to the end, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you want to see more details on a couple of these units, just check these videos. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.